Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's Opportunity360 demonstration and Q&A session. I am Andy Masters with the Knowledge, Impact, and Strategy team here at Enterprise Community Partners, and we're excited to have you with us today. A couple of logistics. One, this webinar is being recorded, and two, for the question and answer session, if you could use the Q&A function of the Zoom box down at the bottom right of your screen, that would be great. Since launching in September of 2017, Opportunity360 has seen tens of thousands of visitors. Users have accessed resources and tools to move their work forward. During today's webinar, we'll walk through all of the tools available on the website, including our new Opportunity360 community dashboards that launched just a few weeks ago. After a short slide presentation, I'll go to the website and explore many of the resources there. Whenever I start talking about Opportunity360, I like to begin with some level setting around common beliefs and agreements about what we try to accomplish through the platform. To begin, we all want to build and support communities with a sense of hope and belonging. Each of these communities is unique, as is the sense of hope and belonging. It will look and feel different in every neighborhood. We also want everyone to have a shot at success. In the same way, what that chance looks like will vary from place to place and family to family. Each individual in each neighborhood will need their own combination of supports and access to reach that success. Even more, we know that there are many, many ways to get to that place of success. There's not a single pathway, but innumerable routes. There is not a sole right way to get where we want to go, but many combinations that a person can travel to achieve the success they have in mind. This quote from Mr. Rouse, the founder of Enterprise, really espouses everything that Opportunity360 tries to bring to light. We can't just settle for doing some housing, finding some jobs, or building some human support systems. We must do it all, decent housing and decent neighborhoods for everyone. Opportunity360 reaches for the intersection of data from across sectors and includes resources to go beyond that data and move into community transformation. So what is Opportunity360? Enterprise Community Partners developed Opportunity360 as a way to begin to measure opportunity in communities we partner with. In early conversations, we realized that there are common lessons learned that can be applied to a platform benefiting the field of community development and many other sectors. What are those lessons and what have we learned that are important components of success? What are some of the best practices we can follow to achieve success? The next 4 points are addressed by the tools and resources in Opportunity360. First, projects should be grounded in rich and varied data. Bringing together cross-sector data provides a deeper, more thought-provoking view of communities. Next, projects should actively seek community support and buy-in. Residents will be in communities long after these projects are completed. It is best to engage communities as partners in transformation. Developers, investors, public agencies, community-based organizations, and residents should all be working together. All of these groups have a vested interest in seeing community transformation. Working together enables them all to achieve their measures of success. And finally, we should be sowing impact and sharing our successes along the way. Impact takes time, but we are able to share success stories throughout project phases. Those 4 points are not new or earth-shattering, so what makes community transformation so challenging and elusive? First, we often find ourselves working in silos. These can exist within our organizations, within our sectors, and within communities. Next, the problems we are discussing are very complex. They are not going to be solved by a single CDC, NGO, government or financial institution, or other organization. These complex problems require collective and collaborative solutions. This last bullet refers to a common question that gets to the heart of competing priorities and a need for collective impact conversations. How do I get this on everyone's list of things to care about? Opportunity360 is built on a framework of pathways and outcomes. We start with pathways because that is where our work happens. The 4 pathways in this framework are policies and systems, neighborhoods and networks, homes and buildings, and people. Each of these pathways connects to outcomes for the people living in communities across the country. These pathways are not mutually exclusive and do interact with one another. A project or initiative can impact multiple pathways, and efforts in one pathway can influence work in others. Our opportunity outcomes are the results of our work along those pathways. Outcomes are what makes our work meaningful and how we measure progress towards success. Enterprise leveraged our collective experience and expertise, along with a review of the existing landscape of opportunity measurement, in developing these outcome areas. We ultimately identified 5 outcomes as part of our opportunity framework. Those are housing stability, education, health and well-being, economic security, and mobility. This slide shows how the work within the 4 pathways influences outcomes throughout a community. The Opportunity360 website is made up of 4 tools. Each of these holds resources and examples of how to use these tools to create community transformation. These tools will be described in the next section. First, we'll discuss the Measure tool. The highlight of the Measure tool is the Opportunity360 Community Dashboard. These free, interactive dashboards include over 150 indicators from 27 sources to create a holistic view of a community. This dashboard is available for every census tract across the U.S. and will be discussed in more detail shortly. Opportunity360 also includes a Community Engagement Toolkit in the Listen section of the platform. The toolkit features nearly 50 tools and resources available to help users enhance the way they work with residents, partners, stakeholders, and others. Community transformation is most effective when partners are at the table with developers and community residents. By entering a zip code in the search bar, users are taken to Aunt Bertha's site and are able to search a list of low and no-cost service providers serving that area. This can help partners as well as to identify gaps in services. Rounding out the tools is our Evaluate tool. Here you can find examples of how Enterprise has used Opportunity360 and our framework to begin to share our impact story using the framework described earlier. We at Enterprise have been truly excited about the launch of our new Opportunity360 Community Dashboards. This new tool builds on the success of the original Opportunity360 measurement report in a number of key ways, while continuing to leverage our opportunity framework to give a complete picture of the opportunity that exists in every neighborhood. The user interface to select census tracts for the dashboards is similar to the original measurement report map. Now, users can select up to 3 tracts to be included in the dashboard. Dashboards will generate showing data for the primary tract first, then with the comparison tracts to provide some additional context to the data. Our Opportunity360 index scores have been updated to include the most current data. Index scores have been calculated using the 2014 to 2018 ACS data. In addition, the health and well-being scores have been updated to include 2 indicators: life expectancy at birth and the % of the population that is uninsured. In addition to being able to compare census tracts, many data points are presented as a time series, dating back to 1990 and including projections into 2025. This gives additional information about how the tracts have changed and where things might be headed in the future if trends continue. We have added new indicators throughout the dashboard. Many of these are the result of requests we have heard from users. Of particular note, we have displayed a number of indicators by race, ethnicity, or gender to highlight equity issues that may exist. Now, we'll hop over to Opportunity360.org for a demonstration of these tools. To see an example of a dashboard, I wanted to look at a dashboard in Baltimore. We will see how the community dashboards can show the similarities and differences among census tracts in a relatively small community The first thing I'm going to do is to go to Opportunity360 and click on the Measure page. As I scroll down the page, I see the outcomes framework we already discussed, and then I come to the map of the United States. On this map, I can enter my address, any address, and the map will bring me to that location. For this demo, we are going to use 1201 West North Avenue, Baltimore, Maryland. I can also use the federal designations filter to identify tracts that are opportunity zones, recaps or racially and ethnically concentrated areas of poverty, or qualified census tracts or QCTs. Let's go ahead and select this as our primary census tract. You'll see that it turns blue. Our report will center on this tract. However, we can include up to 2 other tracts in our report. Let's select these 2 tracts just to the north and east. Once we have done that, we can click Request Dashboard, and you'll be asked to provide your name and email address. The reports are now delivered directly to the email address you provide and should arrive in a matter of minutes. I've already requested this dashboard, and I'll bring it up now. First, let's learn a little bit about the demographics of the area we're looking at. I'm opening up the Community Profiles section. And you can see the neighborhoods we have selected. These happen to be contiguous or connected neighborhoods, but you can select tracts in different parts of the city or on the other side of the country. So our primary census tract has a population of just over 2,300 people. Roughly a quarter of these are families with children. As we scroll down, we can see how the population has changed over time. Many of our key indicators are presented as a time series. In this graph, you can click on the MSA, or the Metropolitan Statistical Area, to hide that layer and zoom into the tract data. From here, we can see that these tracts have all experienced population loss over the last 25 years. We can also see that these tracts are primarily African American neighborhoods, very different from the MSA as a whole. Scrolling down to the bottom, we see that these census tracts are opportunity zones, and that makes me want to learn a little bit more about the neighborhood strengths and needs. The first place I will look is the Opportunity is Here page. When I click here and scroll down, I see the opportunity index scores for each of the 5 domains listed here. For each one, I see the primary census tract national, state, and regional index scores. Then I see the national scores for the primary census tract and the 2 comparison tracts. Let's look a little more closely at a few of the outcome areas, starting with housing stability. Each of these pages is set up the same way. They start with the national, state, and regional scores of the primary census tract. Then display the 3 tracts' national scores in comparison. Here we see that each of these tracts scores below the 50th percentile, with our primary tract coming in at the 25th percentile. Scrolling down more, the dashboard shows the indicators that go into the index score for each provides a description of the indicator and how it impacts the overall index score. For example, a high rate of home ownership has a positive or increase on the index score. The data on homeownership for 2 of the 3 tracks shows a primarily downward trend over the last 15 years, while the 3rd track experienced a significant increase between 2010 and 2015. Additionally, this 3rd track has a lower rate of households receiving project-based housing and those receiving housing choice vouchers. This makes me want to explore the economic security of these 3 tracks next. By clicking here and scrolling, I see that there is a difference among the 3 tracks in this relatively close geography. Looking at the median household income for the 3 tracks over time, we see that our primary census tract experienced a significant boost in income between 2010 and 2015, while our 3rd tract has remained higher over the last 15 years. When looking at the percent of people in poverty, we also see a significant drop in this number for that 3rd tract, while the other 2 saw increases between 2010 and 2015. This is just a sampling of the more than 150 indicators in the community dashboard. But just from these few numbers, you can start to see that although these tracts are geographically close and were each identified as opportunity zones, they are not the same when looking at housing stability and economic security. Now let's say I want to share some of this on social media and I'm not quite sure how to do it. I can go to the How to Use This Dashboard section and I get walked through how to use data filters, how to export data, how to link and print. I can also dive deeper into the data methods, answer questions about accuracy, and explore the data dictionary. To understand what this data means, and to put it into the lived experience of the people that live here, Opportunity360 includes a community engagement toolkit. To get to the community engagement toolkit, you click on the Listen section in Opportunity360. At Enterprise, we believe that listening to the perspectives of the people in a community is critical to the change process. To help make this work a bit easier, we've searched across the US to find a variety of apps, resources, and methods to help you engage with residents, stakeholders, and community developers. These resources have been collected here into the Community Engagement Toolkit. Let's take a quick tour. Here on the home page, you'll see our Find a Tool search box. Using the search box, let's select a topic. For example, maybe your organization is looking to do more with mapping and data visualization as part of your community engagement efforts, but you're not sure where to start. We select that option and click on the search button. And here on the right are our search results. There's actually 30 tools in this category if you scroll down further. Let's take a look at Penciler, the second in this list. Here is the tool's profile page. Each profile is divided into 3 sections. A description of what the tool is and what you can do with it. On the right, a link to that tool's website, links for sharing on social media, information on what it can be used for and the skills you'll need to use this tool, and if it's available, the cost. At the bottom of each page you'll find a selection of related tools. To wrap up our visit to the Community Engagement Toolkit, we'll visit the About This Toolkit section. And here's a quick look at the toolkit, the About page, which features instructions on how to use the toolkit and also a selection of case studies showing how our other organizations have successfully incorporated many of these tools and practices into their work. We're constantly on the search for new and proven resources and strategies to add to the toolkit. If you've used a tool that you'd like to see included, drop us a line. As we've mentioned, building partnerships is important to community transformation. That's why Opportunity360 includes the Partner tool. Our Partner tool includes a link to Aunt Bertha's website. By entering a zip code here, and we'll enter the zip code for that address in Baltimore, and clicking search, we're taken over to the Aunt Bertha site. Aunt Bertha curates a list of low and no-cost services in communities across the country. By looking at the zip code, we can easily see programs in food, housing, transit, health, and many other areas. Let's say in my data analysis and my community engagement, I found that substance use and treatment is a big need in my community. I can click here onto health, go down to substance use counseling, and get a list of 57 programs that say they serve people from that zip code. Rounding out our tool again is our Evaluate toolkit. The Evaluate toolkit includes resources and examples of how Opportunity360 can be used to benchmark neighborhood conditions, monitor those conditions and dynamics over time, make the case for comprehensive investments, align those investments with an organizational strategy, and monitor community investment portfolios over time. Examples include our enterprise social return on investment reports, showing how our investments in communities across the country have improved communities and improved those neighborhoods. Our resources section includes many helpful tips, tools, and resources for using Opportunity360. The resources section is divided into four sections: publications, webinars, spatial tools, and redlining in Opportunity360. I encourage you to visit the Opportunity360 resources page, where this webinar and many others are posted, where you can find information about our index methodology, and where you can learn about the case studies that are in the Opportunity360 toolkit. And finally, rounding out our tour of Opportunity360 is our FAQ page. Here you can find answers to many of the questions you may have about Opportunity360. So that's our tour of Opportunity360. I encourage you, if you have a question, please type it into the into the Q&A box on your screen. So I'll pause a second while we wait for folks to type in questions on the Q&A box. So one question, will the webinar recording be sent by email after it ends? Yes, we will send this by email to our attendees, and we will also post this on the Opportunity360 FAQ section so you can go back to it. Another question, what do the dotted lines represent in our community dashboards? Are those projections? Yes, they are projections for between 2015 and 2020. Does Opportunity360 require a paid membership? Opportunity360 and all of the tools and resources, including the Opportunity360 toolkit or community engagement toolkit, are free. Some of the tools and resources in the community engagement toolkit do have a cost associated with that. With those, they are clearly outlined on the community engagement toolkit page. But Opportunity360 itself and the community dashboards are free and require no membership. So another question that came in, can dashboards be developed at the zip code level instead of at the census tract level? Right now, our Opportunity360 report dashboards are still available at the census tract level. You can use the comparison feature to look at multiple census tracts side by side, but the dashboards remain available only at the census tract level. Another question about specific indicators. You can find many of the indicators that are available in Opportunity360's community dashboards in our data dictionary through a variety of engagement with stakeholders and users. We have taken in and taken out several indicators. If you have questions about specific indicators, please email opportunity360@enterprise.org. Some of the indicators that were in the measurement report are no longer in the community dashboard, while many indicators have been added based on the availability of data. There's a question about combining more than 3 census tracts. If you're interested in creating a neighborhood level view, the team here at Enterprise has worked to create custom dashboards for Opportunity360 users that focus on multiple communities and custom geographies beyond the 3 census tracts that are included on Opportunity360's free online platform. If you're interested in working with us to create a custom geography dashboard, we would love to hear from you. Just email us at opportunity360@enterprisecommunity.org. What's the maximum number of census tracts a report can have at once? Opportunity360 reports are available for 1 primary census tract and up to 2 comparison census tracts. Again, if you're interested in looking at a custom geography or creating a custom dashboard to meet your community's needs, please email us at opportunity360@enterprisecommunity.org. Another question another question about costs associated. We do offer custom reporting and would be happy to have a conversation about what type of costs would be associated with creating a customized dashboard. Again, emailing us at opportunity360@enterprisecommunity.org. We would be happy to have a conversation about the needs that you have, about the community that you work in, and how we can help you answer the questions that you're looking to answer about the communities in which you work. Is there a cost associated with custom dashboards? So creating those custom dashboards would be on a consultant basis. We would be working with you to figure out what that scope of work and the budget you have for that, and would make every effort to work in partnership with you on that. If a street is on the boundary line between tracts, which is it included on it? Census tracts often include one side of the street versus another. So a street, the north side of a street may be in one census tract, while the south side of the street may be in another. If you have specific questions about census tracts, please email us at opportunity360@enterprisecommunity.org, and we'd be happy to go about talking about specific census tracts and questions like that. The email that you can reach out to get a hold of our Opportunity360 team is opportunity360@enterprisecommunity.org. That's opportunity360@enterprisecommunity.org. I'm going to go ahead and put that up on the screen. My PowerPoint is not behaving and helping me out with this. Can we add additional resources to the Aunt Bertha search? So Opportunity360 does not own Aunt Bertha. It is a partner that we've engaged in and have created a pathway to get from Opportunity360 to the Aunt Bertha site. As far as adding information and getting connected to the Aunt Bertha site, you would have to go to and through Aunt Bertha's process to be added to their website. So the various ways of getting connected with Enterprise are on the screen. You can email us again at opportunity360@enterprisecommunity.org. Find us on Twitter at op360, or again, visit us at opportunity360.org. A question about the reliability of data for the census tracts, like what is the margin of error for those different data points? We have information on the Opportunity360 how to use this dashboard report about how to find specific margins of error. One of the changes we made in creating the community dashboards is not only have we included the source data of the table, but we've also included opportunities to look at the table from the ACS where that data comes from, if it's an ACS data. So when looking at, for example, home ownership rate, we give you not only where it comes from in the census, but also the tables that it comes from. And to find that margin of error, you go to how to use this dashboard. Scroll down to the section that says finding margin of error. And we have a video that walks you through exactly how to find the margin of error for our Opportunity360 data points. So there's a question about opportunity zones. So in addition to the Opportunity360 toolkit being able to highlight opportunity zones in communities across the country, for example, if I wanted to search for, we'll go with Cleveland, Ohio, and I wanted to look at, in Cleveland, the opportunity zones, I can click on and zoom into Cleveland's census tracts and go to federal designations and click on opportunity zones. And that'll allow me to select and create community dashboards for opportunity zones anywhere in the city of Cleveland. In our resources section, you can also click on resources and spatial tools. And under there, we have our Opportunity Zone Explorer tool. And our Opportunity Zone Explorer allows you to look at and understand a variety of information related to census tracts across the country that have been identified as opportunity zones, including how those opportunity zone designations intersect with a variety of other federal filters. So again, I can search for Cleveland, Ohio, and the map will zoom into Cleveland and show me the opportunity zones that are available in Cleveland, Ohio. And when I hover over each one of these opportunity zones, I see information related to how it intersects with other federal programs like community development block grants, empowerment zones, choice neighborhoods. I see the Opportunity360 outcome scores, and I can go over to Opportunity360 right from here and create that community dashboard that would allow me to dig into the 150 indicators that are provided in that dashboard. So there's a question about the community engagement toolkit. So we have worked with partners across the country who have helped us understand and have identified a variety of tools within the Community Engagement Toolkit. Many of these tools have been used by other folks in community engagement efforts. Our intent in creating the Community Engagement Toolkit was simply to highlight these tools as possibly useful in your community engagement efforts. You'll see that you can look across the country, and there are many, or across the site, and there are many different types of tools that help you in a variety of different functions. So again, some of the things that you can search for: creating effective budgets and funding strategies, helping community members tell their stories, working more effectively with community members and stakeholders. And each one of those searches will provide you with a different list of resources in the Community Engagement Toolkit. So another question about the partner section. So if you're interested in getting connected to Aunt Bertha, visit Aunt Bertha's website, and they have information on how you can be listed on the Aunt Bertha site. That is not something that Enterprise manages or maintains. I think that is all the questions. I'll hang out for another minute and see if there are any lingering questions out there. In the meantime, I'd like to encourage everybody again to visit Opportunity360.org. Check out all of the tools and resources on Opportunity360. Email us with questions at Opportunity360@enterprisecommunity.org, and follow us on Twitter at Op360. With that, that concludes our demo and Q&A session of Opportunity360. Really appreciate all of that time.